So I picked up this huge, it was filled all the way to the top, bin of buttons. And what I've been doing is I've been going through them and I've been sorting out the color ones from anything that I thought was interesting. These are thin. They very well could be mother of pearl, but they're like extremely thin. These, I am wondering if they're possibly Bakelite. That's where they're put aside. I have a little container for all the stuff that's not a button. And look at that, I found a ration token. And these blue ones are harder to find than the red ones. I think it's that way. There are red ones and blue ones, and I think it's the blue ones that are harder. I found this button that I am so excited about because, as I said before, I work hard to get that kind of patina on stuff. And these all have their own little, marks on them. These are mother of pearl, or what I put aside to check to see if they were mother of pearl. I wasn't certain on all of them. This I thought would be a really cute, oh, sorry, but my hand's really huge there. I thought this would be like a fun closure for a book. Very lightweight, not super old. These I'm putting aside because they could have some value. Old military buttons do have some value to them, and I don't know what's what, but I do know that I wasn't going to put them back into the pile. I'm separating them out. So that's what I'm doing now. We'll see how far I get along with that. My husband's doing fabulous, which is why I'm here, because he didn't need me. Isn't that wonderful? So I'm here and getting stuff done at the studio, and thought I'd take you along for the ride. Okay, I am back. It's another day. Today is Monday. And I'm kind of excited because I had blocked off today. I cleaned everything up, as I was kind of showing you the other day, so that I could get started on doing some art. So Mondays I'm always closed, so it's a good day for me to get in here and create. So I pulled out some old things, some things that I had started. You guys may have remembered when I did these, and if not, I will put a link for you, and I don't know which direction I'm pointing, so I will put a link up there to the video where I did these. These were kind of an accidental find during the pandemic, of something really fun that you can do, unusual. I hadn't seen it done before. I have to fix that. But I have all of these already begun, so I pulled out some things that I thought may go with it a little bit. I always like to have a focal point for all of my pieces. So I pulled out some vintage photographs, and these are going to get probably cut and put in here in different ways. But I picked out all these great pictures. This one's a little different, but I think it's the same. I think it's this baby, actually. But I only had the 3 of this cute little girl. So the 3 could go together if somebody wanted to purchase them that way, or we could do, all of them, or they, will work singly as well. So the interesting thing about this process that I did here is that on several of these, this blue color came out that I kind of wasn't expecting. So, and I usually don't work in blues, but we'll see where this takes me today. This one actually has a mild pink color in it as well, and there's some pink in this too. So I pulled out some things here, just some pieces that I might want to work with to do some more collage on here, add the layers. And I also pulled out a whole bunch of other things because I never know where my muse is going to take me. I have some napkins for napkin decoupage. I have some stamps. I have, just a wide variety of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and then once I kind of figure out my way, then I'll jump in with you guys and kind of show you where I've gone, what I've been doing, and maybe lead you through some of it as well. But I kind of want to get started so I know what I'm doing first. So I'll see you again in a minute. All right, so I kind of laid this out and started putting some collage elements down on it. When we're doing collage, we work in a lot of layers. So even though this is pleasing to me now, this is probably going to change. And we have to learn to be happy and enjoy each step along the way as we're getting to the final piece. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach these. I did want to stop in and show you where I was at. The little flowers came from this bag that I was tearing. I tore each one of the little flowers out. And I've got another little pink element going on in there from the ledger paper. And we'll glue them down and see where we go from there. I'll keep stopping in as I go along. But notice how I did the, if you've watched my videos for a while, I know it's been a while since I've really done some art, but I truly love to do collage in these sections where I have 4 distinct pieces here, but I've moved them all together, and I have pieces, you know, transcending, going over it. Transcending is the right word. Going over top of each one of the pieces to kind of bring them together as a whole, so they can stand alone or they can be used together as a grouping. And I really enjoy doing that. So let me adhere these down and I will check back in with you in a few minutes. All right, so as you can tell, I've glued down all the little pieces, and I changed the shapes of these pictures and kind of have an idea of where I want to place them. And as I mentioned before, that's fluid, that changes a lot. That may change as I add more layers to this piece. We'll see where we go. I also pulled out some stencils to use. I think I'm gonna add some paint to this. So these flowers are actually the same flowers that I used for that other technique. So I'm gonna use those. I love how this, I love circles and dots and things in any of my art. So I grabbed those that I'm gonna use. And then I did pull some colors. So I think I'm going to add some of this pink, maybe very, very sparingly. I have some of this Martha Stewart, this is an iridescent paint, and then I have a gray color paint, which I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. If I add all of these, I'm very tempted to pull out the black and add some contrast with the black, but we'll see where I go with that. All right, so I'm going to actually show you some of the process of doing this. So I pulled out my little tray here, and I've got my gray on there, and I have a little foam cosmetic wedge here. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to, first of all, move this so you guys can see more. Oops, I glued it to the paper. All right. Let's do the gray. I like to do things in thirds and threes. There is kind of a design rule of doing things in threes, but you have to keep in mind that I am going to break these apart, so it may not end up being what I think it's going to be. I'm not sure about the placement on these. I like the triangular shape. So I would want one here or down here somewhere, but I think I'm going to put it right there. And I don't know if you can really see the bottom ones or not. So that's what I did there. I added that one. I'm going to come up to the top one, and I'm going to add, oh, where am I going to put it? I know, okay. I'll move this so I can get to it. I'm going to put one right there. And we're going to put one over here. I also like to put things off the paper. When I used to teach the little kids, before COVID, I had a job where I taught drawing to little kids in an after-school program. But I kind of always told them that the way to make themselves appear like a professional artist or a real artist was to make sure that they didn't always try to keep all of their shapes right in the middle of their pieces, that, you know, we should always try to take them off the piece, because that's what it, you know, in nature, not everything falls into our view. It's funny, the things that I teach the kids, I often learn myself at the same time. I think I want some blue. I like this blue because it's iridescent, shiny, sparkly. I'm not going to add the pink until, you know what? Let's go ahead and add the pink. I usually like to work in light colors to dark colors because it helps it to not muddy. I'm not real sure I like how dark that pink is, so I'm going to look for some white gesso. Alright, so I found some gesso, and let's try to see if we can lighten up that pink at all. Let's see, what else do I want to do? I think I wanted to do, yeah, with the pink, I want just this smidge of pink, and I need a new cosmetic wedge, and somewhere, there's my, so I like, this is another little tip, and I don't, it's not mine, somebody told me, I like to cut my wedges in half. It makes them go longer, and you could actually, technically, because I'm not going to use that much of it, I could cut it into fourths. This one's thinner, it's easier to grip when it's not cut, but so I do that, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take my little pink, and I'm just going to dab it. Oh yeah, that's nice. Right, I'm liking the composition here. So now I'm going to come in with my flower, and I'm going to add just little pops, like off the page kind of pops of this blue. I might really like this. We'll see. I love how it's kind of translucent also, so you can kind of see through it. Oh, I like that a lot. I like it a lot. Let's do this side. So this is actually a piece of medical stuff. It is from colostomy bag packages. And so I grabbed that because it has great circles on it. Alright, that's better. I like that. Have to lift it so I can see it. Good. Which actually means that I think I'm going to do that here too, because I want them to be kind of similar, right? So I've got that. Let's do one there. Sometimes it's fun to do things upside down because your eye will not be so rigid in placement, because it's going to be like this. So I might not have done that the way that I did it had I had it sitting here like this. Alright, so I'm going to edge this, and I'm using antique linen. Yep, I have to always check the bottom because sometimes the lids get moved. When I teach classes, I take my supplies. I don't have class-specific supplies, and you never know if they make it back into the right containers. It's just a very light. I'm not sure that that's going to stand out as much. I don't know. Maybe I need to do it a different way. I'm not getting enough. Let's see. Oh, that's giving it a little darker. See how that looks on there. You know, I have to go back and discover. I think we're doing her up there. I think they went in order. So we've got that one going on there. Do 'em. That's the other thing. I take a lot of pictures. Oh, I decided I didn't like that. My camera has become a very good tool for me, especially with placement. Sometimes I'll audition placements, several different placements of items, and all using my camera. So then I go through and I look at all of the pictures, and then I'm seeing it with a different perspective. You know, I'm seeing it from the perspective of the viewer as opposed to the perspective of the artist. I know that seems kind of weird, but it does. It actually changes, for me anyway, how I view it. And then I can choose better based on that. Oh, he's just such a cutie, isn't he? He's so cute. Just tear it the right way. I love to rescue these pictures from estate sales and you know, wherever else I find them. And it fascinates me that people don't want the pictures. And I do know, I've been in this vintage world for a long time, and I also had to close out an estate for my own family. I do know that there are times when there is no family. You know, these people may not have been around, or they may have been, and this is sad too, that they may be in other states or whatever and just want it done. And so they don't bother to go through these things, you know. My sister and I were very fortunate. We took, over a year to close out my dad's house. And by that I mean go through, was it over a year? No, we had about a year. It was about a year before we had the estate sale. So we took about a year to go through all of my parents, our family's belongings, and determine, you know, who was getting what and whatever. And we looked at everything and made sure that, you know, everything, we didn't leave anything that could have sentimental value that we would be upset if we lost. So I'm very grateful that we were able to do that. I don't know where that went. It may change. I know he was in the middle, depending on what kind of sentiment I end up putting on the pieces. She was off to the side. So that's where I'm at now, and I am going to sign off for a few minutes while I do some more, maybe cut them apart, maybe think about what kind of sentiment I want on there. I found some really cool stamps that I had purchased at an estate sale, so I may use them. Now it's kind of big letters. They're much bigger than what you see on the actual stamp. I might see what they look like, although those are big bold letters. Like, seriously, they're nothing like what you see there, but we'll see. I also have another set of little teeny weeny ones that I may use for that. Sometimes I'll print out sentiments, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to stop now, and I will bring you back and show you what I'm doing again in a few minutes. Alright, so let me show you where I'm at now. I added some other things. I added this. This is actually like the kind of paper that would have been in like fruit, I think. Separating the fruit. So I tore off some of that, and I really like the look of that. I also added some other collage papers here as well, and I did some antique linen stamping through the sequin waste in different places. So I think I'm ready to take this apart and then start working on each individual piece. I like when there's little pieces sticking off the sides. I don't like to change that because I think that adds a little bit of interest. In the end, how much I leave off, I don't know. We'll see where we go from here. But we're going to go ahead and get her attached. Okay, there's that one. I don't know where I had her before, but I kind of like her there with a sentiment up there. You know, I didn't think about adding I didn't think about adding any linen embellishments. Maybe we'll come back in later and see. I love to add vintage linens, doilies, handkerchiefs, trims. I actually like him hanging off the edge there just a hair as well. And I liked her like that. No, I like her there. She's so cute. I love this picture. It reminds me an awful lot of a picture that my parents had of my sister when she was little. It was nice to be able to create again. As you can tell here, I'm getting ready for my sale. Today is Wednesday. I have live sales on my other channel, Mimi's Treasure Cottage, every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Vintage, everything. You'll notice I got some vintage Halloween out there. I'm selling off my collection of pigs. I've got some vintage Christmas over there as well. So always fun stuff. Every once in a while I pop in some of my original art as well. Hey, if you like this content, give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.